This is the composition of air, and this is the requirement of air per person per day. The air is rendered impure by respiration by man and animals, combustion of fuel, decomposing organic matter, trade activities, traffic, and manufacturing processes. Despite these, under ordinary conditions, the composition of outdoor air remains remarkably constant. This is because there are certain mechanisms by which the air is kept clean. Wind dilutes and sweeps away the impurities. Sunlight oxidizes impurities and kills bacteria. Rain settles down the suspended impurities and gaseous impurities. Plant life utilizes carbon dioxide and releases oxygen. If the pollution level surpasses these self-cleansing mechanisms, or these mechanisms become ineffective due to any reason, air pollution results. Definition of air pollution. You just need to understand the definition. Presence in the atmosphere of substances generated by activities of man in such concentrations that interfere with human health, safety, or comfort, or are injurious to vegetation and animals, or enter other media that result in chemicals entering the food chain and drinking water. Presently, air pollution is of concern throughout the world. Air is polluted by primary air pollutants and secondary air pollutants. Primary air pollutants are emitted directly into the atmosphere through chimneys or exhaust pipes or gust of winds. Hence, it is possible to measure the amounts emitted into air. Secondary air pollutants are formed within the atmosphere itself. They are formed by interaction between primary pollutants utilizing natural components of the air. A well-known example is ozone, which is formed in the atmosphere from reactions that differ with altitude. And hence secondary pollutants cannot be easily measured as emissions. The pollutants may be present as gaseous air pollutants, which are readily inhaled, or as particulate air pollutants. The pollutants distribute at different scales. Local scale particles have short atmospheric life and hence concentrate close to the source of emission. For example, burning of coal for household cooking. Urban scale pollutants have a slightly longer life and hence the concentration inside city is high, but the adjoining area the concentration is less. Regional scale pollutants have long atmospheric life and travel thousands of kilometers across national boundaries. Ozone sulfates are examples. Global scale pollutants have very long atmospheric life and ultimately distribute throughout the hemisphere. Examples are greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. Individual sources of air pollution. Automobiles emit hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, lead, nitrogen oxides, particulate matter, and strong sunlights convert hydrocarbons and nitrous oxides to photochemicals, which are oxidizing pollutants, for example, ozone. Industries emit smoke, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc. What is important is that discharge from chimneys occur at high temperature and at high velocity. Domestic sources include burning of coal and wood, and this smoke contains dust, sulfur dioxide, and oxides of nitrogen. The London disaster, where severe air pollution killed thousands of people in 1952, occurred due to domestic coal burning. So, tobacco smoking, including passive smokers, and miscellaneous like refuse burning, pesticide spraying, etc. The meteorological factors also affect level of air pollution. For example, if there is wind blowing, it diffuses and dilutes the pollutants. The topography of the place also affects. Mountainous regions block winds, and hence the pollutants tend to remain concentrated within the breathing zone. The climate and weather also affects the level of air pollution. During winters, rapid cooling of lower layers of air inhibits vertical movement of air, and hence the pollutants along with water vapor remain trapped near the ground as smog. Individual air pollutants. Carbon monoxide. It is very dangerous if the concentrations become very high, can be fatal also. It results due to incomplete combustion of fuel. Sometimes the generation of carbon monoxide is the cause of death in a sealed room with coal burning. The concentration in outdoor air depends upon the weather and on traffic density. As petrol powered vehicles are the main source of carbon monoxide, the peak levels coincide with rush hours. It is expressed as 8 hours average concentration, that is, it is measured throughout the day, but 3 values are arrived at because the heme concentrations equate with the external concentration over some period of time. Depending upon the concentration, as carbon monoxide replaces oxygen from hemoglobin, the lack of oxygen can cause headache, fatigue, impaired vision, and may ultimately be fatal also if concentration is very high. Sulfur dioxide is present in volcanic eruptions. It is a colorless gas, and human sources are burning of coal and fuel oil and industries. It is an irritant. It irritates the respiratory system, irritation of eyes, so it results in coughing, mucus secretion, aggravation of asthma and chronic bronchitis, makes a person prone to respiratory infections. It has been seen that cardiac mortality increases with increase in sulfur dioxide levels and is a cause for acid rain as well. Oxides of nitrogen. Coal is the most important source, others are road traffic. Nitrogen dioxide also increases bronchitis symptoms in children and reduce the lung function growth in them. Ground level ozone is a major constituent of photochemical smog. It is formed due to interaction between primary pollutants in presence of sunlight. Hence the levels are highest in sunny weather. Ozone is known to trigger asthma and reduces lung functions. It has been seen to increase heart disease mortality. Ground level ozone is different from top ozone layer, which is good for mankind. Ground level ozone harms the respiratory system, whereas top layer ozone protects the Earth's environment from UV rays from sun. Particulate matter. Coarse particles have an aerodynamic diameter of more than 2.5 micrometers, and fine particles have an aerodynamic diameter of less than 2.5 micrometers. These are very dangerous because they can reach bronchioles and ultimately enter the capillaries also. Chronic exposure contributes to risk of cardiovascular disease in addition to respiratory diseases. In fact, particulate matter emanating from burning the fuel inside the house, inside the living room, has been associated with acute pneumonia in children and COPD and lung carcinoma in adults. No level of particulate matter is considered safe, and hence there is no threshold level. The aim should be to achieve the lowest possible level, and hence the maximum allowed limits depend upon the resources available for reduction of particulate matter. PM10 are particles with diameter less than 10 micrometer. PM2.5 are particles with diameter less than 2.5 micrometer, and in between these two, the particles have a diameter and are known as thoracic coarse mass. Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, commonly written as PAH, are extremely dangerous because of their carcinogenic potential. Main component of PAH is benzopyrene, written as BAP, which is used as concentration indicator for the PAH in general. The source is incomplete burning of carbon containing material. So the sources are automobile exhaust, industries, wood burning, charcoal burning, and tobacco smoke. These dangerous pollutants are also capable of traveling long distances, and they are toxic not only while inhaled, they are toxic also if they are ingested or simply skin contact. So they are carcinogenic when inhaled, ingested, or by skin contact. The exposure is high among smokers, as tobacco smoke is high in concentration of PAH. So high exposure groups consist of smokers and passive smokers, those involved in roof laying, road builders, and those living near highways and industries. Lead. Major portion of lead emission into the air is from the leaded petrol. The levels in air differ depending upon the density of the motor vehicles and the content of lead in petrol, and also on the presence of other sources of lead in the area. Young children are especially at increased risk and to the adverse effects of lead because they are involved in outdoor activity, their blood-brain barrier is still immature, and the hematological and neurological effects occur at lower levels compared to adults. Placenta is not an effective barrier, and hence pregnant women are also at high risk because of the exposure of the fetus to lead. Other air pollutants are carbon dioxide, hydrocarbons, cadmium, hydrogen sulfide, which smells like rotten eggs. And the sources include coke production, sewage treatment, livestock industry, etc. In addition to giving a bad odor, if the concentration increases, it becomes an irritant. And higher concentration can even cause neurological symptoms. Monitoring air pollution. Different countries have their unique air quality monitoring programs, but following three are measured almost daily and almost in all the countries. These are sulfur dioxide, smoke, and suspended particles. Smoke is measured by passing a fixed amount of air through white filter paper, and the resulting stain density is measured, expressed as microgram per cubic meter. Suspended particles are measured by deposit gauges, which are placed as fixed sites, and they collect grit and dust. These are analyzed monthly. Indices used for expressing air pollution are coefficient of haze for assessing the smoke in the air. Some kind of air pollution index can be created by combining more than one pollutants. For example, the following one is used in USA. Guidelines value for each pollutant have been issued, but they have following limitations. Each pollutant is considered in isolation, and any synergistic effect between any two is not taken into account. For some pollutants, it is not possible to establish a relation between the levels and its toxic effects. How is air pollution monitoring done in India? National Air Quality Monitoring Program was launched in India and is sponsored by the Central Pollution Control Board under Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India. Monitoring stations are in 127 cities and 10 major cities in addition. Central Pollution Control Board measures the pollutants level and keeps the record so that long-term air quality trend can be monitored. It measures the following pollutants: inhalable dust, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, lead, hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, and PAH. The records show that particulate matter exceeds all the standards laid by the board in all cities and throughout the year. It also analyzes the rainwater samples at all the sites, and the records show that the first rain event in an area is indeed acid rain. The National Green Tribunal was established in 2010. The purpose is to effectively dispose cases relating to environmental protection. It has legal power and is equipped with expertise to handle environmental disputes. Health effects of air pollution. If the levels become very high, there can be immediate effects on health like acute bronchitis or maybe immediate death due to suffocation. A precedent was there in 1952 in London where severe air pollution killed thousands of people in a few days. This is a photograph, real photograph from that time. Delayed health effects include chronic bronchitis, carcinoma, bronchial asthma, emphysema, respiratory allergies, lead poisoning, especially in children. Lead poisoning affects the brain functioning in children. Other effects of air pollution include destruction of plant and animal life, metal corrosion, damage to buildings, aesthetic nuisance and cost of cleaning and maintaining the buildings. Smoke reduces visibility, can cause accidents. It soils and damages clothing. Indoor air pollution is also said to be a critical thing because population is exposed more to indoor air pollution. Major sources of indoor air pollution are combustion of solid fuels indoors, tobacco smoke, outdoor air pollutants entering inside, emissions from within the house, and the relative importance of each source varies among countries and with socioeconomic level. The developed countries have a cleaner fuel, but still because the homes are airtight, the ventilation is compromised, leading to potential for indoor air pollution. Females and children are more vulnerable to indoor air pollution. Many deaths occur due to illnesses which can be attributed to indoor air pollution. These include pneumonia, stroke, heart disease, COPD, carcinoma, etc. Indoor air pollution doubles the risk of childhood pneumonia. Half of under 5 deaths due to pneumonia can be attributed to the particulate matter that they inhaled from indoor air pollution through burning of solid fuel inside the house. Indoor air pollution contributes to a percentage of deaths due to stroke, heart disease, COPD, and lung cancer. Women exposed to indoor air pollution is 2.3 more likely to get COPD compared to those who are using cleaner fuels. Smoker males have a risk for COPD. That risk is doubled if they are also exposed to indoor air pollution. The mechanism of this is that small particles present in the indoor smoke are inhaled and lead to inflammation of the airways and the lungs. This impairs the local immune response and increases the vulnerability to infections. Fine particles reach the alveoli and interfere with oxygen transfer, and they can also enter the blood vessels, the capillaries, thereby decreasing the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. Indoor air pollution has also been linked to low birth weight infants for women who were exposed to indoor air pollution during pregnancy, tuberculosis, cataract, other airway cancers. Prevention and control of air pollution. WHO recommends the following methods: containment, that is preventing the escape of pollutants into air; replacement of technology which causes pollution; dilution of pollutants; legislation, passing acts to control pollution. Containment can be achieved by the measures, one of which is enclosure, that is keeping the fires enclosed so that the unburned particles remain inside. Ventilation, to dilute the pollution. Air cleaning, air is blown inside so as to keep the unburned particles down there only. Using arresters which trap the particulate matter and let the smoke go out. Replacement of pollution causing technology like using electricity instead of coal and gas for heating. Using unleaded petrol instead of leaded petrol. Dilution, as long as the pollution is within the self-cleansing mechanisms, the air remains unpolluted. This can be achieved by planting green belts between industrial and residential areas. Legislation regarding height of chimneys, giving power to local bodies to penalize those which cause pollution, creating smokeless zones. The Air Act was passed in 1981 for the purpose of prevention and control of pollution in India. The international action for prevention and control of air pollution is done by WHO, which has established an international network of laboratories. Two international centers are located in London and Washington. Three centers are located in Moscow, Nagpur, and Tokyo, and 20 labs in different parts of the world. These continuously monitor the air pollution throughout the world and issue warnings.